Hey guys, coming at you with something a little bit different today. We got a public service announcement, which is if you strip paint on a model, make sure you wash it completely and thoroughly before you repaint it. Because as we have going on here, this is my Pontiac GTO. I think it's an AMT kit or MPC, one or the other, I don't remember. And this was the car that was featured in my other video about stripping paint, which the paint was stripped, yes, all the way down to the primer using alcohol, which I will never do again now that I have my QCS paint stripper. So I let it soak in alcohol. It got rid of all of the acrylic paint that was covering the body before. And so I decided, you know what? Let me just give this thing a quick paint job using my MCW paints. I'm using Laguna Blue, I think it's this color. And I've been dying to use it on something, so I figured, why not? This thing was blue once before, it'll be blue again. So I took it to the paint booth. I pulled out the MCW paint and I started to go at it. Now, this MCW paint sprays beautifully. I'm still not really quite proficient at spray painting the bodies of the cars, so I'm using this as more of a learning opportunity to get a little practice in doing that. And so I decided to paint the whole thing up. Right here, I'm laying down the first coat of paint. As you can see, it's not 100% coverage, as all I'm doing is looking to lay a tack coat down. I sprayed paint into the panel lines for the door to make sure that we get paint all in there. As you know, sometimes the paint won't go all the way in there. And when you're done, in between the gaps, you may not get full deep coverage. So now I'm just going to go ahead and paint the whole thing up. Then we're going to get to the horrendous part of this story. Okay, first tack coat is done. Now we're going to let it sit for 5 minutes and get ready for our second coat. Okay, so far so good. Now we're laying down our second coat of paint. As you can see, it's starting to even out the color really nicely. This paint does spray and lay really, really smoothly. So let's just get on with the painting. Okay, now we're going to start with the hood, or we've already started with the hood. We're going to go a second coat on the hood. Now the hood is the only part that I didn't have to strip the paint on, as I never painted the hood initially when I first painted this car. So the hood is getting its first and only coats of paint. After laying down a few more coats of paint and the car was really starting to come together, that's when I started to notice it. Small bubbles just started to appear in the paint. Just out of nowhere. 1 second it was totally smooth. The next minute, the next second, there were bubbles just appearing in the paint, and I could watch them as they were forming, as if the paint was lifting off the body. And that's when I remembered, holy crap, I never washed the car properly after I pulled it out of the paint stripper alcohol bath that it was in. So yeah, I kind of screwed this one up. Now the hood, which was never in the paint stripping tank, came out beautiful. So I know it wasn't an issue with the paint. Definitely was an issue with what I did. So MCW, I still love your products. Just a small note. If you're going to use the MCW paints, the lacquers come in these small jars. I would recommend buying at least two of them, especially of the metallic paints, as they lay very thin and you're going to need a lot of coats to really build the color up. And it's beautiful when it builds up, but you are going to need more than, or at least I needed more than one to get this done correctly if I hadn't screwed it up. So, MCW, I'm going to order a few more because I love this color. Okay, here's a few close-up shots of the damage to the paint. You guys can see right where it started to bubble up right underneath. It's a shame because it really laid down nice. So remember, don't be like me. Wash your parts.